Spend Halloween with the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. We're talking Sweeney Todd, folks. That's what is now playing at Musical Theater Southwest. And with us this morning, director Hal Simons, good friend of mine, very fantastic actor, and actors in the show, TJ Boland and Kari Reese. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Well, so first off, most people now in the pop culture, they will remember Tim Burton's adaptation with Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter. But Hal, just briefly remind us, what is the story of Sweeney Todd?
It's about a barber who is wrongfully imprisoned because the judge that sentences him lusts after his wife, and they also have a young daughter, and the wife is sort of left to fend for herself, and he takes the daughter under his wing, and Sweeney Todd breaks out of prison and seeks revenge on the judge and the beadle, and when he can't get them, he rehearses on others. And his
one way of putting it.
And his neighbor, Mrs. Lovett, comes up with a very enterprising idea of what to do with the remains.
Right. Yeah, the way they're putting it. So tell us a little bit about your production of Sweeney Todd.
Well, something that's different. It's in a small theater. It's in a 100-seat black box.
Oh, really?
So it's not proscenium. It's very in your face. As I discovered when we finally got in the theater. It's and in the movie, Tim Burton made the decision to cut out all the ensemble singing. So there's a lot more music than what people have heard if they've only seen the film.
If they've only seen the film, right. Well, so TJ and Kari, can you talk a little bit about the characters that you play and how you kind of made them your own?
Obviously, the character deals with all of this loss, and so like they keep talking about he's the demon barber and all these very demonic things that happen, and it's not fun or nice, you know. I mean,
Yeah,
it's fun
right.
as an actor, but so you get to explore a lot of like the loss that we have, and the loss that he goes through, and then emotionally it just ranges from top to bottom. So it was really fun getting to play that, and I have an awesome cohort to get to do that with.
Yeah, and so let's talk about your cohort here.
Well, one thing I did not do in preparation was watch the Tim Burton film or even the original Broadway with Angela Lansbury, because I'm not Helena and I'm not Angela, and I wanted to make this role my own. And I am very fortunate that Hal and I have worked together many times, and he gives me permission to play.
Good.
I also am blessed to have a wonderful cohort here, and we both got off book very early in the process, and not having a script in our face allowed us to discover moments and make connections early on in the process. And I think, life in theater is a series of moments, and in discovering those moments, we helped create these characters. And I think ours are a little different than
That's
what
great.
you usually see.
That sounds really exciting. Well, I mean, Sweeney Todd, the music is very complex and very dark if you haven't seen the musical. Well, Musical Theater Southwest, of course, in case folks don't know, it began working about 50 years ago, and it was originally the Albuquerque Civic Light Opera. Some people might remember ACLOA, which is how I came to know the company. But MTS, Musical Theater Southwest, really has become the premier musical theater company in New Mexico. So tell us a little bit more about MTS.
Well, they've been through a lot of incarnations, and they sort of keep rising like the phoenix. I mean, especially, sort of literally after the warehouse had burnt down, and they lost so many incredible costumes and props that really had made it around the world, because they really were, the craftsmanship was incredible, and they've just rebuilt, and it's now an all-volunteer organization, but they're really back up to producing full seasons, alternating between the African American Performing Arts Center and their own. When they rebuilt the warehouse, the owner built in a performance space that really, for this show, Vic Browder, who designed the set, he really did a great job of utilizing the space, because you just have to have certain things. You have to have a large oven, and you have to have a chair. There's just certain things that you have to have for a production,
Right.
and they've been able to.
That's great. Well, as we can see here on screen, folks, Sweeney Todd, it is running through November 10th. Musical Theater Southwest, location 6320 Domingo Road. And to get your tickets, you can go to Musical Theater Southwest, or SW.com, I should say, and call the box office 265-9119. Break legs this weekend for the show and get out and see
Thank
Sweeney
you.
Todd, folks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, there